Fish sauce is the backbone of the Vietnamese cuisine. Fish sauce is usually made from two ingredients, the fish and the salt. It makes a huge difference, depends on where you make it and how you make it. Redbird fish sauce is produced using traditional method that has been used for making fish sauce in Phú Quốc for over 100 years. This island is known for producing the best fish sauce in the world. Everything starting in the ocean, so gotta have the credit to the fishermen. Every fishing boat is accompanied by 3 lifeboats. If they find the sign of the anchovies swimming around there, they would light it up and they wait. Usually for the light to be bright enough, it had to be at night. So when the anchovies detect the light, they would come. You get them all together before you can drop the nets and fish them. Once the anchovy get off the net, they immediately salt it, the fish, right on the boat. It preserves it from being rotten. They kill the bad bacteria and they promote the good one to thrive. And that's very, very important first steps. Đây là những mẻ cá đánh từ đêm hôm qua. Đây là cá cơm than đánh ở vùng biển Phú Quốc. Đã được muối sẵn hết rồi, còn tươi, không có mùi hôi gì hết. Rất là tốt. Khi mà muối liền được thì con cá nó không có bị đỏ. Con cá này nó rất là khô. Tức là cái nước nó đã được rút ra hết rồi. Cái nước con cá đó. Thành ra cái mẻ cá này rất là tốt. There are many kind of anchovies, but the one that found here is the black anchovies. It yields a higher protein than all the type of fish from other regions. Protein turns into the umami, and that's the flavor that can be used in the cooking. Fish sauce, how it's made is salted fish and fermented over the period of time. So the enzyme is the thing that lives inside the fish guts, right? So that's why we're not gutting it out, because that's all the agent that breaks out the fish. So we salted the whole anchovies. So this is all happening naturally. This is a redbird barrel house. This is where we do fermentation using traditional method. There's about 75 barrels right here. Each barrel can hold about 13 tons of salted anchovies. The wood we use, very traditional wood, like balai, yen. This is all the old traditional barrel house use. This barrel can last for a very long time, 50 years easily. This is the beginning, like 100 years ago, this is the barrel. So we want to keep it just so that we have something to refer back to. When the salt applied to the fish, it flushes out all the liquid from the fish, because fish has a lot of water. We don't want those water to be in the fermentation. See how cloudy the fluid is? The next critical steps is we validating the amount of salinity that go inside the fish. We're looking at basically the density of the salt. So when it's lower than 24, then we compensate it by putting salt in here, and then we keep circulating it. Hồng là quản lý về sản xuất và quản lý để khi ra thành phẩm luôn. Thành ra Hồng giữ một cái vai trò rất là quan trọng trong cái thời gian làm việc ở...
1 tháng, 2 tháng, 3 tháng đều mình kiểm tra. Cái thùng này là đã được 1 tháng.
Nước bổi nó rất là đục, thì 1 tháng sau những cái con vi sinh ở trong đó nó sẽ biến cái nước mắm này ra màu. Và mỗi 1 tháng thì nó sẽ ra màu đẹp hơn, cái mùi vị nó đậm đà hơn. Wow, cái nước mắm cái thùng này rất là thơm. Và thứ ba là mình thử cái vị của nó. Nó rất là mặn, tại vì nó chưa có ra đạm nhiều. Nhưng mà 2-3 tháng sau nữa thì nó sẽ ngon hơn. Thành ra cái triển vọng cái thùng này á, nó sẽ ra rất là tốt.
là cái thùng 3 tháng, đã được 3 tháng bây giờ mình sẽ lấy mẫu.
Là nó đậm hơn cái nào 1 tháng là mình biết là nó tiến triển tốt. 6 tháng thì cái màu nó lại đẹp hơn, nó đỏ hơn, bắt đầu nó có wow.
Và cái vị á, thì nó mặn đậm đà mà nó béo, nó có hậu rất là ngọt, cái hậu đã ngọt rồi.
Cái thùng này mình biết là cái đạm nó sẽ cao nè. Trời.
Thùng này là 12 tháng là thắng chắc rồi.
Ngon lắm. Dạ.
Năm nay chị làm ở Red Pot là bước sang năm thứ 11. Khi mà mình theo dõi từ 1 tháng, 2 tháng lên đến 12 tháng, mình cảm nhận giống như là một đứa con tinh thần, mình giống như là một đứa con vậy. Khui ra được, mình làm được ra cái đúng 12 tháng ra cái sản phẩm nó ngon, mà rất là thích, rất là mê lắm.
Cái thùng này là 12 tháng là coi như là chín hết rồi. Thì bây giờ mình biết cái này nó rất là cao, tại cái độ sánh của nó, nhìn thấy cái đạm của nó đã bám ở trên này. Cái này là cái màu nước mắm Phú Quốc tượng trưng, nó kêu là màu cánh gián.
Màu cánh gián.
Yeah, red amber.
Cái này
That's very,
nó mặn đậm đà nhưng mà hậu nó ngọt, mà nó ngọt dịu.
Yeah. In Vietnam, fish sauce is mandated you have to disclose the total nitrogen on the sauce so that consumer knows what they're paying for. 40 N mean 40 grams of nitrogen per liter. The nitrogen is related to the protein level that inside the sauce. Every year we have one barrel that pop, meaning the protein level is so high, it's so good. So we decide to call it like family reserve. That's a gift from Mother Nature. Là cái thùng này được bao nhiêu đạm? Bữa mình đo, mình đi kiểm là bao nhiêu? 40 mấy?
48 mấy á.
48 độ đạm. Thông thường những thùng kia là 40, 41, 39 thôi. Thì cái thùng này 48 tức là nó cao hơn, nhiều đạm hơn. Thành ra cái này mình không có đưa vào chung với những cái kia, nhưng mà mình chỉ mình sản xuất ra những cái lô hàng rất là nhỏ để đặc biệt.
Thử rất là nghiện cái mùi này.
Everything is fermenting naturally, so the result is different. 39, 40, 41, 38, 42. Even though right next to each other, the same batch of fish, you load the same boatload, it come out slightly different. We kind of blend it, so we achieve like the color, the aroma, and the flavor, so that it would be consistent.
Sau đó mình sẽ đấu lại và mình sẽ cẩn qua mình thử là nó đạt hay chưa, đạt theo chuẩn vị của Red Pot hay chưa.
So that's the blending that also achieves that we can get to the 40N level consistently. So that's the art piece. It's like harmonize everything together.
Nó đã chuẩn vị của Red Pot rồi, ngon, mặn đậm đà, cá hậu thì ngọt, dịu, đủ và đạt chuẩn của Red Pot rồi thì mình sẽ đấu một cái lô lớn hơn, khoảng 15.000 lít thì mình sẽ xuất đi.
So we bottle our fish sauce in Hayward, California. Our product mainly for export, over 95% for export. I started my life on a boat, you know, I left the country 45 years ago. As an immigrant, you know, refugee, it's so hard, you know, being on the ocean for so long with a small fishing boat. So I was involved with the tech industry like 30 years and over 20 years with Apple. One day, I have an assignment in Asia, came to Vietnam, and I said, Mom, I got some food with sauce for you, and try it. When I gave her, and she smelled it, and she tasted it, and she almost cried. She said, oh yeah, cái này là nước mắm của Dượng Tư cho mình ăn từ đó tới giờ. Đúng là cái mùi nước mắm Phú Quốc. When I see my mom's reaction, I say, you know, is it that much that she's been holding and not telling us? Like, oh, where is this kind of fish sauce? After the war ended, the trade embargo, so nothing from Vietnam come out to the US, so everybody had to get stuff through Thailand. And so I said, okay, how Phu Quoc fish sauce is been made 100 years ago, we're gonna do like that.
Today what I want to do is basically a Pretty Bird version style of Nashville hot chicken. We're going to be serving a Vietnamese red boat sweet chili sauce that we're going to add as a glaze to the chicken. So we have some marinated chicken wings. What I do is just grab black pepper. We actually add a little bit of salt to that and a little bit of sugar. And then with that, we add a little bit of red boat fish sauce here. Fish sauce can fit in almost any type of cooking. Basically, it's umami in a bottle. What you want to do is kind of massage that mixture into the chicken. We'll dredge it in some flour. You know, growing up as first generation Vietnamese, there wasn't anything that I wanted more than to be American. So when it came to Vietnamese food, I didn't really care very much for it. As you progress in your career, you start to look for meaningful things that really give your food a sense of identity. I came across red boat. So I'm like, fish sauce. This is what my mom always used. And she's always told me that if your dishes are ever missing anything, you just add a little bit of fish sauce and it makes the dish better. And then we'll let that fry for about 8 to 10 minutes. Every culture seems to have a version of fried chicken. But what I love about it is that there is literally zero pretentiousness that comes with fried chicken. In the industry, this is what we call GBD. It's golden brown and delicious, and that's what you want. That's what you're looking for. We're gonna make a play on like a sweet chili sauce. This is fresh palm sugar from Cambodia. I have some vinegar, and then I'll add a couple spoonfuls of the sweet chili, and then we're gonna add a fairly good amount of fish sauce. You want that salty, you want that sweet flavor from the palm sugar, and then that acidity that you get from the vinegar really helps balance it all out. And once that simmering reduces, we'll use that as a glaze for the chicken. So this is our Pretty Bird spice, you know, a variety of chilies, peppers, and a little bit of sugar that really helps balance everything out. So we want to make sure that the spice is nicely, evenly coated. And then last but not least, sweet chili sauce. We're gonna actually spoon this over the chicken. One of the things that I really love about Vietnamese cuisine is that its use of lots of fresh herbs. That is a Nashville-style hot chicken with a Vietnamese fish sauce, sweet chili sauce. Through my craft, being a cook, little did I know that that path was going to take me full circle. Is because of a very simple condiment. It really brings me home, and it reminds me of my mom, my dad, all in one perfect bite. I'm like literally tearing up. Something as simple as a condiment brings you full circle back to rediscovering who you are. If it wasn't for something like red boat fish sauce, I don't know where I would be as a chef.
People ask me, why would you do fish sauce? I didn't know what I get into. I grew up with this fish sauce, and I didn't know how significant it was. When I was in elementary, it's a boarding school. My mom gave me the little bottle. I said, if the food is not good, use it and everything's good. So it means a lot to me. You know, the more you get into it and you stumble into different challenges. And I love challenges, and man, I love that because all my life when I work in the high tech, give me the problem, I solve it for you. And then the kids get involved, Tracy get involved, Tiffany get involved, Kevin, my wife, of course, is involved from the beginning. But so the family is actually hold it all together. Without the passion, you cannot sustain all the work here. They see the purpose why we're doing this. So I'm very appreciative of all the work. We're just fortunate to grow up with this and we remember it. So we cannot let it be forgotten.